Thanks for joining us at 5 o'clock. I'm Ashley Sharp. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office says it responded to reports of an active shooting. Tonight, at least 19 storm-related deaths have been reported, including cases of exposure to the cold. Breaking news out of Woodland. A 13-year-old boy leads police on a pursuit, ending when he slammed into two other cars, killing a woman and sending 10 others to the hospital. Good evening, I'm Ashley Sharp at the Sacramento International Airport, talking with families who missed their holiday plans entirely. The body of a man was found burning near Vacaville. The victim leaves behind a 6-year-old child. CBS 13's Tori Apodaca joins us live. Have snagged 210 seats in the House. Democrats are at 200. 218 is the goal. When it comes to District 13 in California's Central Valley, there's really no predicting this race. Just in from CAL FIRE NEU, mandatory evacuations at this hour. But first, I want to show you this new video leaving thousands of passengers stranded, spending their holiday in the terminal. In the middle of it all is where we find CBS 13's Sacra Gray over at the Sacramento International Airport. Now, Sacra, what are you seeing? Are people stuck, or are some making it home just in time? So when I asked Shirley the secret to her longevity, she said it's not actually what she did, but stuff that she didn't do. She never drank, never smoked, never did drugs. And now here we are 102 years later. Now, what do you think, Brady? Is Panic Saturday living up to its name? Deadly shooting in Mahaney Park. Seen on police body camera tonight for the first time. Eric Abril ran from police in the park, taking a husband and wife hostage, killing one of them.
This historic indictment, Ashley.
Yeah, part of it is photos included in that newly unsealed indictment showing boxes of documents scattered across Trump's estate. But we don't want to talk about the snow, even though more of it's on the way. We want to talk about the spring weather that we're seeing today and that gorgeous sunshine.
At 5 starts with breaking news.
A deadly shooting at the Hard Rock Hotel in South Lake Tahoe. One person is dead, 2 suspects in custody. Thanks for joining us at 5 o'clock. I'm Ashley Sharp. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office says it responded to reports of an active shooting at the hotel. That just after 8 o'clock this morning. When deputies arrived, they found one man at a bar who had been shot in the head. Security footage shows the victim and suspects meeting up and drinking before getting into an argument. The victim was rushed to a hospital where he later died. El Dorado County deputies found the suspect's car on Highway 50. All lanes were shut down. A man was arrested for murder and a woman driving the car arrested for DUI. The hotel and Highway 50 are both back open at this hour. Now to a live look at the Golden One Center, where the Kings will take on the Utah Jazz in just 2 hours. Now, the Kings continuing their playoff pursuit, and tonight, well, they could clinch a spot for the first time since 2006. CBS 13's Sarah Hodges is at Golden One Center. And Sarah, what's it going to take for the Kings to punch their ticket?
Yeah, Ashley, the Kings hoping that all the stars align tonight, because if they do, they're going to be headed to the playoffs for the first time in 16 years, ending an active playoff drought, the longest in all of pro sports. 16 years is a long time, and I know Kings fans, they are ready for this to end, but it's going to have to be a perfect storm in order for that to happen. First and foremost, they're going to have to get the win over the Jazz tonight. Second, they're going to need the Clippers to lose to the Pelicans. And third, they're going to need a little help from the 76ers and hope that they can down the Suns tonight. So essentially, a Kings win plus a Clippers and Suns loss equals a Kings postseason berth. But just imagine this, the Kings ending this 16-year playoff drought, okay? The beam lit over downtown Sacramento tonight. I mean, it doesn't get more beautiful than that, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, we can picture it right now, Sarah. We want that beam lit, right? And we want the good news that they're going to the playoffs. But like you said, stars have to align, so we'll keep our eyes close on that score. Moving now to First Alert weather. Take a live look here at downtown Sacramento. Just a beautiful spring day. Doesn't get much better than this, Jordan. It's been sunny, a little bit cool, a breezier start to the weekend. But everybody wants to know, Jordan, is the beautiful weather going to continue?
Yes, Ashley, the answer is yes, at least for now, though, because after this weekend, we're tracking a very strong winter storm that's going to roll in. But basically what you experienced today, we're going to see the same tomorrow. Right now, temperatures are running in the low 60s here in the valley. Valley. We're still looking at 46, though, in Placerville, and right now 30s for Truckee and South Lake Tahoe. So temperatures today have been running about 8 to 10 degrees cooler than normal, and we'll see that the same for tomorrow as well. But it has been pretty breezy. Here's a look at our current sustained winds across the valley. You can see it ranging anywhere from 10 miles per hour here in Sacramento, 21 in Elk Grove, 23 in Roseville, 14 in Jackson. So we will see these winds eventually easing off as we head into the evening tonight, but we are looking at some breezier winds tomorrow as well. Maybe not quite as strong, but it's still going to be a windy day here in the valley. Right now across the valley, it is very clear and sunny, but we're seeing just a few light snow showers up at the higher peaks. Again, this is a very weak disturbance that is rolling into the area, so we'll continue with the light snow showers, again pretty high up over the evening tonight. But for the valley, expect to see a cool and clear night, and temperatures will be dropping into the mid-30s, so there is that frost advisory still in place through early tomorrow morning, with winds still coming in from the northwest at around 25 miles per hour tonight. And then tomorrow, more sunshine across the board. We'll see low 60s for the valley and the delta, mid-50s out towards the coast. We'll get into the low 50s out towards the foothills, and partly cloudy and sunny in the Sierra. Coming up, though, we'll track that next major winter storm that is expected to roll in by Tuesday. We'll time it all out for you coming up in just a bit. Ashley?
All right, Jordan, thanks. A frost advisory lasting through tomorrow morning has valley farmers and growers keeping a close eye on both crops and plants. It is peak growing season, so frost can be detrimental. We're getting answers on why this year the wild cards thrown by Mother Nature recently might actually be in the farmers' favor.
We haven't had a lot of sunlight, so that hasn't pushed a lot of new growth. And like I said, we haven't had a lot of warm days. So the plants are going to be able to adjust to this a lot better.
At Green Acres Nursery, Greg Gayton says California's recent cooler, rainy weather is helping when it comes to frost. As most plants right now are slow to bud, that means a weekend frost won't be as destructive. Good news for the nurserymen and the farmer alike.
And we hope that frost doesn't come back. 2 years in a row is a really tough thing to recover from with all the fruit we lost last year, but farmers are pretty resilient.
Tom Slater of Slater Farms in Clarksburg says this time every year he worries about his vineyard. It's good that the cooler temps have kept vines from budding new growth, but looking ahead, both he and Gayton need sunshine and less cool days. Developing tonight, 2 people are dead, several injured, and 5 are missing after a Pennsylvania chocolate factory went up in flames last night. Witnesses say there was an explosion followed by a massive fire and thick smoke rising from the building. The cause of that explosion is under investigation. A powerful tornado killed close to 24 people in Mississippi and 1 person in Alabama, leaving behind major destruction. CBS 13's Christian Benavides reports from hard-hit Silver City, Mississippi.
The devastating tornado brought death and destruction to a wide stretch of Mississippi and other parts of the Deep South.
We lost everything, but we got our life.
As the twister wiped out neighborhoods, the National Weather Service says it apparently remained on the ground for more than an hour. The tornado touched down in Rolling Fork in western Mississippi Friday night and kept going to other towns across the region. Now houses sit in ruins, toppled trees are all around, and flipped cars and even big trucks litter the landscape. When daylight broke in Silver City, Mississippi, the tornado's disastrous impact became all the more evident.
It was just devastating last night. Pitch black dark. Trying to get everybody out we could get out. Get them to a safe location.
Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves declared a state of emergency in all counties hit by the deadly weather. President Biden and the First Lady issued a statement saying they are praying for the loved ones of victims. The president also says he spoke to the FEMA administrator, who has deployed emergency response resources and personnel to Mississippi.
Tens of thousands of customers are still without power in Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee. Video here shows the aftermath from American airstrikes against what officials say is the headquarters of Iranian-backed Islamic Revolutionary Guards in Syria. President Biden ordered the airstrikes after an Iranian drone attack killed 1 American and wounded at least 6 others. Now to Fair Oaks, where a fire tore through a house, injuring 1 person. Sac Metro Fire says that started overnight, leaving 1 person injured and 3 people without a home. The cause of that fire is under investigation. Well, the Kings' playoff pursuit is causing some complications at Sac State, where 10,000 students are set to graduate this spring. CBS 13's Marley Ginter is getting answers on why the Hornets may have to move their commencement ceremony if the Kings keep winning.
Kings fever is in full force all across Sacramento.
King, baby!
But the chance that the Kings may make the NBA playoffs is creating complications at Sacramento State University.
That would conflict with our May 19th through 21st schedule for commencement.
CSUS traditionally has its graduation at the Golden One Center, but if the Kings make it past the first playoff rounds and into the conference finals, their home games would preempt the commencement ceremonies.
It's just a little sad.
Graduating seniors have been looking forward to the annual tradition.
My hope is that we are able to walk at the Golden One Center. It'd kind of be like taking candy away from a child.
I just feel like Golden One Center is just like something special. It's like a rite of passage. Not doing it there is not going to feel the same.
It hasn't been a problem in the past.
You know, as long as we've been at Golden One Center, the Kings haven't been in the playoffs.
So what are Sac State's backup commencement plans?
We would then move it to Hornet Stadium.
That outdoor venue creates new problems. The average high temperature in mid-May is in the low 80s, but it can also reach triple digits. Last year's June ceremony at UC Davis was cut short when several people suffered heat emergencies. Sac State says plans are in place to prevent that from happening.
The times will change. Each day, one in the morning and one in the evening.
It also comes with extra costs of renting a stage, restrooms, and hiring vendors.
We've had to put down deposits.
Graduation will still go on, but just where is still up in the air.
They're good enough to where they could go deep into the playoffs, so we have to be ready.
Sac State officials say the size of those venues are similar and each student will still get the same number of commencement tickets. Coming up, a dramatic robbery as a truck crashes through a Southern California storefront to steal sports collectibles. How much they got away with. And a football legend in Sacramento, which Raider and Hall of Famer brought lessons to kids that go beyond the gridiron.
At 10 starts with breaking news.
We begin tonight with breaking news out of Woodland. A 13-year-old boy leads police on a pursuit ending when he slammed into two other cars, killing a woman and sending 10 others to the hospital. Good evening, I'm Ashley Sharp. That crash happened at the intersection of College and Court Streets. That's where we find CBS 13's Tori Apodaca. Tori, what do we know right now?
Yeah, this all happened at around 4:30 p.m. and you can see it is still a very active scene here behind me at this intersection as investigators are just piecing together everything that happened here. We did see them take away that one body just within this last hour. Again, one woman is dead. They have not identified that person at this time. And we also know that 3 other people have been injured in this, and of those people, three of them are injured, and one of the minors is the 13-year-old.
And I'm totally in shock. Nothing has ever happened here in Woodland like this.
The aftermath of a police pursuit in Woodland. 3 cars piled on top of each other, 2 of them going up in flames.
It's just horrible.
Woodland police says an officer spotted a car driving erratically, heading northbound on College Street from Main Street.
He attempted to stop the vehicle, at which time it started to flee from him.
Police say that driver ended up crashing here at the intersection on Court Street. The suspect they were chasing, a 13-year-old boy on a joyride. Police say he stole the Honda Pilot from a family member.
It's terrible. Took one life.
1 woman died and nearly a dozen were injured.
Whenever there's a high-speed chase that results in a fatal collision with, innocent people
Sooner or
involved,
later.
you wonder if there was any other thing they could have done.
This couple, who did not want to be identified, were among the dozens who heard about the crash and came to the scene.
First thing you think about are your kids.
Hoping it was no one they knew in the cars.
You wonder if there was any other thing they could have done besides chasing, the culprit.
A chase on a busy road in broad daylight justified by police on scene.
It was a very short pursuit, so the hope is that our lights and siren are going to end the behavior that the person is having.
But that's not what happened tonight, as the chase sped through this 25-mile-per-hour zone.
Unfortunately, kids are young and they don't see that their actions have consequences.
Very sad, very, very sad.
A lot of heavy hearts tonight. We've seen some family members just completely in tears. And again, I wanted to clarify that one woman is dead and at least 10 people have been injured in all of this. Of those 10, 3 of those people were minors, and one of those is that 13-year-old suspect who was driving the car that started this whole pursuit and then the collision. And Woodland PD tells us that that 13-year-old has been detained and it could face vehicular manslaughter.
All right, Tori Apodaca, thank you so much. State Route 65 at Pleasant Grove Boulevard is open tonight after another deadly crash. The CHP says the multiple cars collided just after 6 o'clock tonight. Video shows the traffic backed up for miles there. One person died in this crash. It's unclear if anyone else was hurt. The cause of that crash is under investigation. Tonight, we're getting our first look at the Roseville shooting suspect's booking photo. Eric Abril was booked into Placer County Jail on multiple felony charges, including murder and taking a hostage. Abril is accused of taking a husband and wife hostage during a shootout with police on Thursday afternoon. Both of those hostages were shot. 72-year-old James McKeegan died at the scene. His wife, Patricia, survived. Abril also shot in the chaos, but it's still unclear if he was shot by police or if he shot himself. He was treated at the hospital before being booked into jail. We're working to learn more tonight about a fire in West Sacramento. Video shows smoke billowing from Kerrigan Court. It's still unclear what exactly was burning. We have reached out to the fire department and are waiting to hear back. Here's a live look at the Golden One Center, where the John Mayer concert is wrapping up right now. Downtown businesses tell us that the G1C is helping bring customers downtown. The venue booking some big concerts, and of course the playoff-bound Sacramento Kings having a winning season. It's helping revive the area after the pandemic. We spoke with one business owner before tonight's concert.
We are completely booked up tonight until after the concert begins. The concerts have been doing really well for us as well, and then just again a lot of excitement for John Mayer.
People are also out tonight getting a head start on their Easter weekend celebrations. Now up in the Sierra, skiers are hitting the slopes this holiday weekend. Here's what it looked like at Palisades Tahoe just a few hours ago. You can see plenty of snow bunnies enjoying that sunny afternoon. We're going to send things over now to Jordan Segundo with a look at our Easter forecast. And Jordan, what we had today was great. We want to see more of that tomorrow.
Well, we're definitely going to be seeing a lot more sunshine tomorrow than what we saw today. So beautiful weather extending into our Easter Sunday. With the clouds we saw today, though, all of that clearing tonight, so it's going to give way to a beautiful evening tomorrow, mostly sunny and dry on Easter. Temperatures will be above average. We're expected to get into the mid to upper 70s across a few valley locations. Enjoy the warmer temperatures, though, won't last for very long. We'll get a slight cool down heading into midweek, but then we go right back up into the lower 70s by Friday into next weekend. Right now, temperatures are still in the upper 50s for much of the valley. 54 right now up in Marysville, 50 in Auburn, 43 up into the high country. We'll see these temperatures in the overnight hours dipping down into the mid 40s here in the valley with the clear skies and very light winds. And if you are planning to enjoy that sunrise tomorrow here in Sacramento, it's expected to rise at 6:39 tomorrow morning. And it is going to be a great day. Again, we will see mostly sunny skies across the board. We'll see a few clouds filtering through in the most northern portions of the state, but other than that, mostly dry conditions. Perfect for the Easter bunny to hide the eggs, and great weather for all the little ones finding those eggs. You can see by 8 o'clock tomorrow, 49 degrees, 68 by 12 p.m. And we should see our afternoon highs here in Sacramento topping off at 75 degrees. That is the warmest temperature of the year so far. Coming up, though, we'll talk more about that warming trend we'll see into Monday and a little bit more on that cool down we'll see by midweek. Ashley?
All right, Jordan, thanks. To stay up to date on your Easter forecast and how that might impact your plans, you can go to our website, cbs13.com. New details tonight in a shooting in North Sacramento. The shots fired on May Street near Roanoke Avenue. A man was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. So far, no arrests have been made. The search is on for the driver responsible for a deadly hit and run in Sutter County. Investigators say a 59-year-old man was riding his bicycle on Bear River Drive when a pickup truck hit him and then took off. The bicyclist was taken to the hospital where he later died. Police are searching for a gray GMC Sierra or Yukon with damage to the fog light and the right mirror. Anyone with information is asked to contact police. Tonight, the future of the abortion pill, mifepristone, is up in the air after a judge in Texas ruled to strip away its FDA approval. But another federal judge ruled that the government cannot restrict access to the drug. CBS 13's Skylar Henry has more on the high-stakes legal showdown likely to land before the Supreme Court.
We have an establishment.
Federal Judge Matthew Kaczmarek ordered a hold on federal approval of mifepristone, the most commonly used abortion drug. The Biden administration says the controversial ruling eliminates basic freedoms for women, putting their health at risk.
It is contrary to what makes for good public health policy to allow courts and politicians to tell the FDA what it should do.
The judge, appointed by President Trump, issued a 67-page opinion asserting the FDA's approval 23 years ago violated a federal rule because the drug wasn't properly tested. The ruling could limit abortion access even for women in states where the procedure is legal. Anti-abortion rights advocates are pleased with the decision.
We are encouraged that the federal judiciary is finally taking a look at the approval of mifepristone and really holding the FDA to account.
Federal Judge Thomas Rice, appointed by President Obama, blocked the FDA from making any changes to mifepristone's availability in 17 Democrat-led states and Washington, D.C. that sued to expand access. Mifepristone is one of 2 approved pills used in more than half of legal abortions in the country. The outcome in this case may undermine the FDA approval process, setting a damaging precedent.
He is holding mifepristone to a standard higher than any other drug is really being held to.
The Texas ruling will not go into effect for at least 7 days, and regardless of what happens with this case, women can still order mifepristone online with a prescription, even in states where surgical abortions are now restricted. An investigation is underway in Sacramento tonight after police say a 3-year-old boy shot himself. Police say that happened at a home on South Avenue just before 3 o'clock this afternoon. The toddler was taken to the hospital. His condition is not known tonight. A pursuit ends with a suspect behind bars in Stockton. Police say officers tried to pull the suspect over on South San Joaquin Street, but he took off. Officers eventually forced that car to stop. The suspect was arrested after officers tased him. He is now facing several charges, including resisting arrest. Today, China launched new military exercises taking aim at pro-independence forces in Taiwan. Warplanes and ships crossed the unofficial line in the Taiwan Strait, dividing the Chinese mainland and the island. The exercises reflect China's anger at the meeting between Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy last week on U.S. soil.
The friendship between the people of Taiwan and America is a matter of profound importance to the free world.
Now, after the Chinese drills started, Taiwan's Ministry of Defense released a video to show that even outmanned and outgunned by China, its forces are on alert and said it would respond calmly and rationally. Tonight, the once red-hot U.S. economy is showing some signs of cooling. The jobs report just released shows more than 200,000 jobs were added last month, and unemployment is now at 3.5%. Both of those numbers, though, lower than expected. CBS 13's Michael George is breaking down the numbers and getting answers on how inflation is influencing it all.
In LA, many shoppers aren't happy this Easter holiday over the cost of their groceries.
It's unnecessarily expensive. You know, the price of everything went up and I'm not making a ton more money.
Here's the good news. The latest jobs report shows unemployment down to just 3.5%. But while overall the country is adding jobs, Meta and Amazon are laying off thousands of workers. Goldman Sachs, McDonald's, and Disney are also downsizing. FedEx is starting a massive restructuring, hoping to cut $4 billion. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says the Fed hopes that slower job growth leads to lower inflation.
The Fed needs to see the labor market cool down. The reason is when job growth is robust, when wages are rising, it means that people have more money in their pockets and spend more. That spending can contribute to inflation.
But there are side effects to 9 interest rate hikes over the last year. Auto loan rates are spiking, up from 5.6% last year to nearly 9%. American is spending more than $700 a month on a new car.
You come in to buy a car and suddenly the cost of financing it, and let's face it, most of us need to borrow to buy a car, has just skyrocketed.
Shakeups in the banking industry have also made it tougher to get credit, so many people are struggling to qualify for loans.
Now, the hospitality and healthcare industries are still seeing job growth, as well as state and local governments. All new at 10, a warning from state wildlife officials as bears wake from hibernation and can't find food. We'll tell you why and where they're going to start looking. Plus, a wet winter, the perfect recipe for a hungry pest, mosquitoes. Why experts expect the population to multiply and how to slow it down. And earning the pom-poms. Cheer isn't all pep. We'll tell you why today. At UC Davis, it was about the prep. And a cop with hops. That's not the Easter bunny, but a bunny with a badge at one local police department. The important job he does for his peers. The CBS 13 News at 10 is back in 60 seconds.